Imagine walking into a courtroom at 17 years old, facing a murder trial for the deaths of your 20-year-old boyfriend and his 19-year-old friend, and the entire room watches as you walk in with a smirk. Not fear, not grief, not the weight of two lost lives. A smirk. A quiet look of confidence, almost relief, like you truly believed you would walk out the doors and go home. Moments like that make people stop and ask themselves, when did the world get here? When did empathy become optional? When did human life stop feeling sacred enough to shake someone at their core? Because two families were grieving, two young men were gone forever, and yet the person at the center of it all sat there as if consequences couldn't touch her. It forces a painful question. How do people become so distant from reality that they can sit in a courtroom facing the most serious charges imaginable and still show the face of someone who believes nothing bad will happen? How does a world lose its sense of emotional gravity? But before that moment in court, before the smirk, before the verdict, everything started somewhere. So let's go back to the beginning. Before the tragedy, before her name became national news, Mackenzie Shirilla was simply a 17-year-old girl from Strongsville, Ohio. She had just graduated from high school, moved in the same suburban circles as other teenagers, and lived heavily through her phone. Her social media pages were her comfort zone, her identity. She wanted to be seen. She wanted to be noticed. She wanted the kind of digital presence teenagers dream about. Her lifestyle reflected that world. Late nights with friends, outfits curated for the camera, an online personality that always pushed her to be expressive, emotional, and dramatic in ways that felt bigger than real life. She wasn't working a traditional job. She was building a version of herself that lived on screen. Dominic Russo lived a very different life. He was 20 years old, older, quieter, and already figuring out adulthood. He wasn't a content creator. He wasn't chasing online attention. He was working. He ran small businesses, including a clothing line he had built from scratch, and he carried himself like someone who was already responsible for something bigger than himself. His lifestyle was more grounded: work, friends, ambition. He wasn't flashy, he wasn't loud, and he didn't move like someone who needed validation. He was the calm to someone else's chaos. Their paths crossed the way most young relationships do: mutual friends, parties, weekend hangouts, and the overlapping social circles between high school teens and early 20s adults in Strongsville. What started as casual conversations turned into late-night texting, shared rides, playlists sent back and forth, inside jokes, and hours spent driving around town. She liked that he was older, steady, confident, someone who made her feel protected. He liked her spark, her energy, her intensity. She was emotional, expressive, and passionate in a way that pulled him in. It was fast, it was intense, and it became all-consuming. By the time they officially became a couple, their worlds had blended. His work life, her online life, their shared friends, their nights out, their arguments, their reconciliations, and the emotional weight that came with two young people trying to manage a relationship that was moving faster than either of them realized. It wasn't a long relationship, but it was heavy, full of highs, lows, and teenage intensity that can make everything feel larger than it really is. That was the world they built together before everything changed.
She's alive. We gotta get her out here.
All right. Hold on, watch your.
wedge. Let's see if we can get some IDs, guys.
Pretty bad. Oh yeah. Alright.
Sarge, we're good to try to get her out? Oh, dude, I don't know if we can there.
On the day of the crash, the tension between Mackenzie and Dominic was real. What friends later described wasn't a single argument, but a pattern. Their relationship had become emotional, intense, and sometimes volatile. In the hours leading to the crash, investigators confirmed there was friction. Messages recovered showed conflict. Witnesses described the relationship as rocky. Mackenzie wanted control of the situation that day. Dominic wanted space. What she said to him in the final hours remains locked between them. No recording, no transcript, no surviving witness. But investigators strongly believed she was angry, emotional, and determined to make a point. What is known is this: she was upset, and she was behind the wheel. He was in the passenger seat, trying to manage the tension the way he always did, quietly, calmly, hoping it would pass. The last person to join them was 19-year-old Davion Flanagan. He wasn't part of the argument. He wasn't involved in their relationship issues. He was simply catching a ride home. He had worked that day. He was tired. He trusted his friends. He had no idea he was stepping into the middle of a moment he never asked to be part of. What happened next unfolded in seconds. Surveillance cameras captured Mackenzie's car traveling through Strongsville, moving smoothly at first, then accelerating, fast, straight, and without hesitation. Investigators later confirmed the gas pedal was pressed fully down. There was no attempt to brake, no attempt to slow. The car shot forward at the exact moment the tension between them reached its breaking point. And then the impact came. Sudden, violent, final. Her Toyota Camry slammed directly into the brick wall of a business building. Dominic and Davion died instantly. Mackenzie survived with injuries. When officers arrived, they saw 3 lives pulled into a tragedy that should never have existed. A young woman behind the wheel, her 20-year-old boyfriend gone, their 19-year-old friend gone. A moment of anger or emotional overwhelm had turned into irreversible loss. The investigation would later conclude that what happened wasn't a mechanical failure. It wasn't an accident. It was intentional acceleration, captured on camera, supported by car data, and intertwined with the emotional collapse of a teenage relationship. And that moment changed the course of 3 families, forever.
So there was an incident that we believe Dominic may be involved.
What?
When was the last time you saw him?
Last night.
Last night?
Yeah, everybody was home. Why?
Okay.
What happened?
You want to come out here?
Yeah.
Or do you want us to come and?
Get that cat fed, he climbs up
Yeah.
on my counter.
Yeah.
The pain
So
in the butt.
do you know what time did you talk to him? Or did you actually see him?
Yeah, I was making buffalo chicken dip. I'd have to see.
Okay.
I mean, I went to my buddy's friends and then I came
Okay.
home. And I don't know, it was late. I was making buffalo chicken dip. That's all I can remember. And then,
Okay.
You know, I mean, I'd have to look at my phone to see
Okay.
exactly about what time I got home.
Do you know who he was hanging out with last night?
So I think that little girlfriend with us, that's it.
His girlfriend?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think I seen one other kid over there, but I can't remember his name. He fixed his car for him. one of his friends fixed his car. I've only seen him a couple times over to fix. He's got like a classic car that the kid was fixing on.
Okay. White kid, black kid, do you know?
Yeah, like a mix, kind of.
Okay.
I don't think he's real. I mean.
Okay. Girlfriend and.
Well, I don't know if they were really hanging out. The kids come over like twice to work on the car. I mean,
Okay.
That's usually what he's come over for, and then he's
Okay.
like, you know.
Okay. So, unfortunately, there was an accident. Okay, involving Mackenzie, Davion, and who we believe is Dominic, is the third person.
An accident?
A car accident. Okay.
Where?
Last night.
Wait.
Just relax. Just hold on. Just stay seated. Just
So
stay
wait.
seated. Just hold on. Just listen.
Yes, just take a deep breath.
Christine, look at me. Take a deep breath.
Yeah, just take
Take a deep breath. Okay. Right now,
Okay.
all we know is that the driver, who is Mackenzie, is at Metro.
Right.
Okay.
I just-
Hold on.
So yeah, just
Just stay seated, please.
Take your time.
Please,
There you
just
go.
relax. Take a deep breath.
That's
Take
all right.
a deep breath.
That's okay. You're good. Take your time.
Take a deep breath. Okay. At Metro right now.
Okay.
Okay. The other two passengers, like I said, was Davion and who we believe is Dominic. Okay.
Okay.
From what Mackenzie told us.
Okay.
Okay. Both Davion and Dominic are deceased.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Christine,
Wait, no,
Oh
Christine.
God. Oh God.
Just sit down.
Oh God.
Sit down. Just sit down.
Oh my God.
Krista's gonna come outside.
That's okay.
Christine.
Yes, just take a deep breath. It's okay.
That kind of news is every parent's nightmare. The kind of pain that doesn't have a name because no word can hold it. Especially for a mother. A mother who carried her child for 9 months. A mother who nurtured him through childhood, watched him grow, guided him into adulthood, and believed she would see him build a future. And then suddenly, she's told her son is gone. Not because of illness, not because of fate, but because a teenager got angry. Because emotions that should have passed turned into a decision that can never be undone. It's a level of heartbreak that breaks the rules of life. Parents aren't supposed to bury their children. Mothers aren't supposed to stand in a morgue identifying the same child they once rocked to sleep. That is the weight Dominic's mother carried. That is the pain Davion's mother carried. Two families shattered in ways they will feel forever, all because of a moment that spiraled into tragedy and a decision that stole 2 young men from the world long before their time.
Where's she? Right back there, pal. Hi, Mackenzie. Step out for me. I'm Detective Jesus. I'm the one who's been investigating the crash. You're under arrest for aggravated murder ×2, okay? Nobody's gonna ask you any questions. Nobody's gonna bother you. Can I have your key, please?
Could you please be careful taking this one
got
off
it.
so it doesn't break the bracelet?
You
Please?
got it. You got it. No,
Thank you.
you got it. Okay, just keep your hands right here. Not gonna tighten this, okay? I don't want to hurt you. That's your head going in.
Mounted. Wi-Fi connected. Recording. Mounted. Wi-Fi connected.
Came right by that black mat. Straightforward. Yep, until that door. Step on that yellow line. And just face the wall. I think so, yeah.
This is the
County juvenile fair shit. He's coming back. 11. Are you gonna come back to the booking room?
Affirm. I'm on the phone with her attorney, Simmer.
Copy.
Okay, Mackenzie, I'm gonna take your handcuffs off. I need like all the jewelry and everything to come off, okay?
I can't wear any of it.
No, I need you to take it off while you're in the jail right now. Now, unfortunately, everything's gonna have to come off right now once we know when the detective comes back and they'll figure what's going on. Everything's gonna be back there.
What are the green, are those extensions slips? Or you need to
I
take
can't
those
take
out?
them off. They're like inside the
Okay.
we can't fire them.
What about that tie?
I'm gonna hold off and see what. That's kind of weird. I don't know. Alright, Mackenzie, just hang out up there. Yeah, walk here, right?
The turning point in the courtroom came long before the verdict. It came the moment she walked in, the moment the entire room saw her face, the smirk. It wasn't loud, it wasn't exaggerated, it was small, quick, the kind of expression you expect from someone who thinks the worst is already behind them. But in that courtroom, in front of two grieving families, it landed like a blow.
My name is Jamie Flanagan. I'm the victim Davion's mother, and I have Christine with me too, the other victim's mother. And we just ask that you please, Your Honor, take into account the victims. This has been an absolutely devastating loss for our families. We ask that you, when you're looking at the bond, please keep it the same or raise it. We feel that Mackenzie is a threat to both herself and the community if she were to be released. And just thank you for your time.
The parents of Dominic and Davion watched her take her seat. She wasn't shaking. She wasn't overwhelmed. She wasn't carrying the visible weight of two lost lives. She walked in with the calmness of someone who believed she was going home. And that tiny smirk, that hint of relief on her face, became the moment everything shifted. People in the courtroom felt it. The judge noticed it. The families noticed it. The prosecutors later said it revealed exactly what they had been arguing from the start, that she never grasped the magnitude of what had happened. Two young men were gone forever, and the girl at the center of it all sat there looking like someone who believed the story wasn't about to end badly for her. That expression changed the atmosphere in that room. It wasn't just a courtroom anymore. It was a collision between hope and reality, between grief and denial, between families who would never get their sons back and a girl who thought she still had a chance to walk out untouched. And from that moment on, the energy shifted. The judge's questions sharpened, the prosecution pressed harder, and every eye in the room stayed locked on her, watching to see if she understood what was happening. But the smirk had already said more than any words could. When the judge returned to the bench, the entire courtroom went silent. No shuffling, no whispers, no movement, just a heavy stillness, the kind that tells you life is about to split in two. Mackenzie sat at the defense table with the same calm she carried throughout the trial, still believing the evidence wasn't enough to pull her under. She looked forward, waiting for the words she thought would set her free. But then Judge Nancy Margaret Russo spoke, and everything changed. On all counts, the court finds the defendant guilty. The words didn't echo. They didn't need to. They hit her instantly. Her face fell. Her eyes widened. That confidence she walked in with, gone. The smirk she had earlier, replaced by a stunned, frozen disbelief. It was the first time she looked like she understood what was happening. Her chest tightened, her breath stalled, her entire body stiffened. She didn't collapse, she didn't cry. She just stared forward, trapped in a moment she never thought would land on her. The girl who walked in believing she was going home suddenly saw the rest of her life closing in around her. Behind her, the families of Dominic and Davion released tears they'd been holding for more than a year. Not joy, just relief. Relief that someone finally said aloud what they already lived through. And then the judge delivered the words that would define the entire case. Her voice was calm, firm, unshakable. This was not reckless. This was not careless. This was a mission of death. The courtroom froze. Even Mackenzie stopped blinking. Because the judge didn't just read a verdict, she delivered a truth. The surveillance footage, the speed, the acceleration, the lack of braking, it wasn't an accident, it wasn't a mistake, it was intentional. And in that single statement, the judge made it clear, this wasn't a teenage misjudgment. This was a decision with permanent consequences. As the judge continued, Mackenzie finally lowered her head. She looked small, she looked shaken, and for the first time since the trial began, she looked like someone who realized she wasn't going home again. Now we move to the sentencing, the moment the numbers hit and reality becomes permanent.
Is there anyone else?
I would like Mackenzie to address the court.
Mackenzie, you don't have to speak if you don't want to. It's up to you. Okay? You can sit if it's more comfortable, whatever's better for you.
I'm so deeply sorry. I hope one day you can see that I would never let this happen or do it on purpose. I wish I could remember what happened. I'm just so sorry. I'm heartbroken. I love Dom and Davion. We were all friends and Dom was my soulmate. I wish I could take all your pain away. And I'm so sorry. And to my family, thank you for the support and all the love you guys share. Thank you for fighting with me. I love you all so much. Thank you.
If I could address the court, Judge. Your Honor, may it please the court. First of all, I'd like to extend...
This trial is a culmination of decisions made by one person, the defendant. Those decisions have forever altered the futures of 3 families, and of you also, Mackenzie. And your decisions forever robbed Dominic and Davion of the futures that they had before them. If there is one thing that can be taken away from this case, as painful as it is this. Every decision we make is important. Every action we make is important. Regardless of whether the decision is a good one or a bad one, or the actions are good or not, the result is the same. The consequences ripple through time and affect many more people than one might think at the time of the decision. In criminal cases, the state carries the greatest burden under our law, proof beyond a reasonable doubt. As I previously stated, I considered all the evidence presented. And at this point, I would like to comment specifically on Exhibit 802, the crash video. This is the type of evidence you can never unsee. You can never forget the visual or audio of this exhibit. It is chilling and tragic. As you review that exhibit, you know that you are watching the oncoming deaths of 2 people, and there is nothing that will stop it. The video clearly shows the purpose and intent of the defendant. She chose a course of death and destruction that day. Exhibit 802 crystallizes the deadly decision-making of the defendant. She morphs from a responsible driver to literal hell on wheels as she makes her way down the street. Mackenzie alone made the decision to drive the car, to drive an obscure route, a route she visited a few days before, and a route not routinely taken by her. Mackenzie alone chose the time to make the drive, early in the morning, when any reasonable person would expect that few people would be nearby to witness it or offer life-saving assistance. She made these decisions despite knowing, as any reasonable person would, that her mission of death could have involved others, not even in the car with her, other people, other cars, pedestrians. She had a mission, and she executed it with precision. The mission was death. Mackenzie alone decided to push the pedal to the floor and demand the ultimate speed of that vehicle to 90 to 100 miles per hour. She alone decided what was to be. Mackenzie decided death was the ultimate goal that day, and she alone made that decision for Dominic and Davion, and she continuously acted in a manner to achieve her purpose. Whether or not she intended to also kill herself is a matter of speculation that have no relevance to the weighing of the evidence in this case. The totality of the evidence clearly demonstrates that Mackenzie Shirilla acted purposely and intentionally in the early morning hours of July 31st, 2022, and her purpose was to kill Dominic Russo and Davion Flanagan. No reasonable fact finder could view the totality of this evidence in this case and come to any other conclusion. Her actions were controlled, methodical, deliberate, intentional, and purposeful. This was not reckless driving. This was murder. Court renders the following verdicts. Count 1. The court, having had count 1 tried to it pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of murder, to wit, Dominic Russo, in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.02A, is charged in count 1. Count 2. The court, having had count 2 tried to it pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of murder, to wit, Davion Flanagan, in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.02A, is charged in count 2 of the indictment. Count 3, murder. The court, having had count 3 tried to it pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of murder, to wit, Dominic Russo, in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.02B, is charged in count 3. Count 4, murder. The court, having had count 4 tried to it pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of murder, to wit, Dominic Russo, in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.02B, is charged in count 4. Count 5, felonious assault. The court, having had count 5 tried to it pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of felonious assault, to wit, Dominic Russo, in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.11 of the Revised Code, is charged in count 5 of the indictment. Count 6, felonious assault. The court, having had count 6 tried to it pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of felonious assault, to wit, Dominic Russo, in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.11A2, is charged in count 6. Count 7, felonious assault. The court, having had count 7 tried to it pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of felonious assault, to wit, Davion Flanagan, in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.11A1, as charged in count 7. Count 8, felonious assault. The court, having had count 8 tried to it pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of felonious assault, to wit, Davion Flanagan, in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.11A2, as charged in count 8. Count 9, aggravated vehicular homicide. The court, having had count 9 tried to it pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of aggravated vehicular homicide, to wit, Dominic Russo, in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.06A2A, is charged in count 9. Count 10, aggravated vehicular homicide. The court, having had count 10 tried to it pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of aggravated vehicular homicide, to wit, Davion Flanagan, in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.06A2A, is charged in count 10. Count 11, drug possession. The court, having had count 11 tried to it pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of drug possession in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2925.11A, as charged in count 11. Count 12, possessing criminal tools. The court, having had count 12 tried to it pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of possessing criminal tools in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2923.24A, is charged in count 12. The court, having had count 12 tried to it pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of possessing criminal tools, and further finds the defendant did intend to use a substance, device, instrument, or article, to wit, the digital scale, to commit the offense of a felony. Sentencing will be 1 week from today, August 21st at 1 p.m. If any party wishes to file a sentencing memorandum, it is to be filed by 4 p.m. on Thursday, August 17th. Thank you.
Thank you. Love you, baby.
And just like that, her young life took a turn she could never come back from. A 17-year-old who walked into that courtroom believing she would go home, now walked out in handcuffs. From that moment forward, she would be remembered as the teenager whose anger led to the deaths of her boyfriend and his friend. A girl who went from suburban freedom to a prison sentence before she even reached adulthood. One decision, one night, and a future that disappeared in an instant. If you're still here, thank you for watching. Tell me, do you think justice was truly served in this case? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And before you go, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next story. Your support helps us keep bringing the truth to light.